Happy to get out of here with a win. A little bit of a slow start, not an ideal finish, but I thought everything in between was pretty good, specifically defensively. So yeah, we're pleased with the result, and overall pretty solid non-conference, and now we got to get ready for the Mountain West.
I guess I'll start with personnel stuff just to get it out of the way. Can we start with Kevin Patton? What was going on with Kevin today?
Kevin is currently away from the team for personal reasons. He has our full support, and hope to have him back real soon.
Chris and Thomas both go down late in the first half. They don't return. I did see Chris warming up, so I'll just ask you, what's the status on those two guys?
I don't know exactly what it'll look like going forward. Neither was able to finish the game, so that's typically not a good sign. But I know both those guys will do a good job in their recovery and try to get ready.
Thomas in particular is a guy that for 11. Well, let me start with the 11:55 he did play. For 12 minutes, he was scoreless and reboundless. And this is coming off a game when he only had those 2 rebounds until that final one at the end. I am curious if there's something else going. If there was something coming into this game going on with him that he was scoreless and reboundless in 12 minutes.
No, nothing. Just kind of the way the game went. He wasn't able to put his imprint on it, but that's not a long-term concern in my mind.
And just to make sure, so we don't get it wrong, can you say if it was left or right? Because I know he was kind of limping and helped off, but I don't know for sure what it was.
I honestly don't know the answer to that question.
I don't know. So, all right, when Thomas goes out and when the rebounding is a concern and something that you said on Friday that you guys really have to improve on the rebounding. What do you do to adjust to that when you know such an individually gifted rebounder is not going to be with you for a whole half? Are there specific things you do to combat that? No,
we didn't make any adjustments. I mean, we know how we want to play when JT's on the floor. We know how we want to play when Tomislav's on the floor. We know how we want to play when Milos is on the floor. We got confidence in all those guys. So it was just kind of the normal approach.
And then in terms of just satisfaction, seeing that you out-rebound a team 44-29 in a game that Tomislav does only play 12 minutes, are you satisfied? 4 of your guys, 7 rebounds, so it was a total group effort. Pretty satisfied with that?
Yeah, I thought we did a good job on the glass for the most part. Specifically the offensive glass. Obviously, JT had a bunch of them, but it was a pretty group effort. Bunch of different guys had multiple. Bunch of different guys had offensive rebounds. Jake Hall 7 rebounds. I know everybody talks about the points, but that's got to be a career high for him. I thought Chol did a nice job on the glass. I thought that was a step in the right direction, and hopefully it's something we can build on.
And then I'll finish with this. Luke Hopp's minutes again for a couple games in a row. I know you've always topped him up and said he's that kind of guy, but he's done it now 2 games in a row where I think the second half of both of these games, he was a big reason why you guys looked so good.
Yeah, I thought Luke was fantastic tonight in a bunch of different ways. 7 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 steals. He makes a ton of plays. He's around the ball all the time. Plays with a lot of physicality, has versatility defensively and how we match up. So when we lost guys, that versatility certainly helped in our ability to kind of play different lineups. So he's a really important player for us.
Tom and Chris, was that a decision that you made just to keep them out, knowing that the conference game is coming up next, or was that something your training staff came to you and said they cannot go?
We make all those decisions collectively.
Okay. As far as the non-conference, you're 11 games in, could you indulge us, maybe kind of grade how your team has done so far?
I think if you just look at the win-loss record, I think we feel pretty good about the position we're in. I think if you look possession to possession at how we're playing, we feel like there's a lot of room for growth and growth that needs to happen if we want to get to where we want to go, right? If this is a group that has kind of championship aspirations in the Mountain West, we're not at that level. We don't have the level of consistency we need there. We have to improve in a lot of areas, but we are capable of making that progress. And I think part of the reason we have the record we have at this point is because we've made progress since we started, the competitions. And so if we can continue to improve and make similar progress throughout the conference season, then I think we have the potential to compete at a high level. But we do have to make more progress.
Now, your last 20 games are all inside the conference. Does that change things, the way the preparation is, maybe personnel-wise for you?
No, our preparation is going to be pretty consistent.
Coach, first of all, you got to 9 wins in 11 games. Coach Eck took 12, so congratulations on that. But this coming off a big win like that, and then next game is a conference game. Is this kind of a hard game to prepare for, having that last one before conference play begins?
I think, there's a human nature aspect of how the season kind of, flows. So we had 2 really big wins, and then we had long travel coming back from Virginia, and so I think that there is an element of human nature. Like if you look at some of the games where we started slow, we were on the road in Kansas City, had a good win, came back, had a little bit of trouble getting it going in that one. Similar thing here. We were aware of that. We knew that this was a good basketball team, and those challenges exist relative to the schedule. But those are just excuses. Like you got when the ball goes up, you got to be ready to go. And I really like the way we responded, though. And that's something I think that's really gotten us to where we are at this point is our ability to respond, not really overreact to poor performances or bad stretches. And, so I thought our guys did that again, and I'm sure we'll need to do it again in the future. We'll keep working at it.
So how long have you been waiting for that block play for Uriah on the alley-oop?
Oh, that was specific to the way they play out-of-bounds defense. That's a Coach Tom Tankelwood's special there. I got no credit for that. So we knew, like, kind of the way they play on the ball that would be there if we wanted it. I thought he picked a good time for it. Guys executed well.
And then as conference play does begin, I mean, the fans let their presence be known by a couple of those calls by the refs tonight. How important is it to fill the pit with Lobo fans?
Oh, I mean, we got some of the best fans in the country, and we want them all here every time out. Lobo Nation makes a huge impact when this place is full, and our guys feed off that. So we're excited for conference play and what's coming ahead.
3-point shooting is at under 21% today. They were giving you guys some trouble, obviously, and I know Jake's not going to shoot 2 for 10 every game, but 3-point shooting wasn't very good today. I'm curious if you're a little concerned if that's one of the areas where you're saying we're not where we need to be. If 3-point shooting is actually one of those concerns at this point.
Nope, no concerns there.
Do you think something that they did today took you out of it, or is it just sort of an off, again, 2 for 10 kind of day for Jake and 0 for 3 for Dayton? Did they do something specific to create that?
I would. In the game, it felt like a lot of the looks we wanted just didn't go. Sometimes that stuff's contagious a little bit, but I have to go back and look. I felt pretty good about most of those shots, and we've been through this before. We want Jake shooting as many of those as possible. We want Chol to shoot all those shots. Like, we believe in those guys. We know what that can look like on any given night.
Luke getting a technical. Were you surprised at all that Luke was, I guess, as feisty as he was after he felt he got hit in the face?
I thought Luke's reaction was appropriate.
What kind of changed at halftime to get you guys going?
Obviously we knew we weren't playing our best basketball, so Coach just kind of reiterated that, we can go out there and really dominate them. We took it as a team and went out there.
When a guy like Tomislav is out, the rebounding by committee, and seven rebounds for 4 of you guys, and you guys out rebound 44-29. I guess how much do you take that on yourself a little bit that you need to do a little more rebounding when he's not in there?
Tom, as we know, he's one of the greatest, offensive rebounders in the country. So when he's out, it does affect us, but also it raises like the team's awareness, like, oh, Tom's not in. It's time for us to go out there, get a rebound. Obviously, the coaches are preaching, rebound. So,
do you feel in non-conference play is done now?
Yeah.
You happy with where you guys are at right now, or is there still more? I guess where do you see you guys still have to grow before Mountain West play starts?
I think we have a lot to grow. Until conference play. We obviously can get a lot better, clean up a lot. Some like turnovers and little things like that. But I don't think this is our best basketball. We obviously did good in non-con, but I think in this time into that conference game, we're really going to improve.
You're coming off a pretty pretty impressive road win. Is it hard to come off one of those things and come back home and know that this is your last non-conference game?
I would say the opposite. You know, you kind of feel good. You know, we're in the pit. You know, we're comfortable. You know, we got fans, and yeah.
Look, we're 11 games into the season, 13 with the 2 exhibitions. What's working for you? What isn't? And as far as the team goes,
I think everybody, can see that we really defend. You know what I'm trying to say, like protecting the paint, and I think that's really worked for us. And yeah.
JT getting extra minutes with Tom being out. I mean, just talk about his development because for a while it looked like he was the guy that might play like 5 minutes a game. He's starting to get a little bit of extra time. What kind of impact does he have on you guys?
The impact he's had, especially on the rebounds, is a lot. You know, he's a very skilled big. You know, he could finish, left hand, right hand, and he could shoot. So he brings a different dynamic than Tom, but it helps us, so.
So in the very beginning of the game, I mean, minutes in, they're draining threes. What do you think this says about the mentality of this team to not let that kind of rock you guys at all?
I think we're very good at responding. You know what I mean? Like, we understand that basketball is a game of runs. So if they go on theirs, it's not like the game's over. It's far from over. You know, it's 40 minutes. So they're going to have their run. We're going to have ours, so.
On the three-point defense, you guys are a team that does kind of dare them to shoot threes. You guys are packing the paint, defending inside. But they get 6 of their first. I'm looking at it, 1, 2, 3, 4.
4 for 6.
Yeah, and their first 6 field goals were all three-pointers because then the others were free throws. So then they only hit 4 the rest of the game. So when you're talking about responding, I guess what adjustments do you make when your standard defense is to pack the paint and kind of dare them to shoot threes, but you guys had to adjust a little bit today to defend the three. So what do you do? Is it something he tells you, or do you guys just know?
I mean, it's kind of both. We're obviously players, so we're self-aware. Like if somebody gets going, we'll be like, "Yo, don't help off them," or be early hand, early closeout. And they only hit 4 for the rest of the game, and I think that's a part of like you said, us coaches like, "Yo, close out to this guy. We don't want him shooting," and yeah.
JT, I know you've been playing well lately, but today's a game where at least at halftime you knew you were going to get a lot of minutes in that second half. Does anything change with you when you know Tomasov's out for the half?
I would just say that I try to prepare myself the same for every game and just make sure that I'm ready to do whatever our team needs to get the win.
For about 3-4 games, whatever the specific starting point was where your numbers at least changed. I don't know if anything changed specifically, but in your preparation, but was there something specific about 4 games ago why your numbers just started kind of shooting up a little bit?
I wouldn't say there was a specific reason. Just staying consistent with the work that we do every day, and really just trust myself to go out there and do it and do my job for the team and do what I can to help us win.
What is it about the offensive boards that you're able to, again, more offensive boards and defensive boards even? You've done that a few games now. I think you had 4 today and 3 defensive boards. So, you've been really good on the offensive boards. Tom's really good on the offensive boards when he's in, too. Is it something about this scheme that allows you guys as the 5 to be good on the offensive glass?
It's maybe something a little bit with the scheme. We're not necessarily low and under the basket a ton within our offense, but I would say that just using my length, my wingspan and stuff, and fighting for position early as I see the ball go up is something that I try to do with the offensive boards, but just kind of falls under the category of doing my job and making sure I do what I need to do to help our team.
We all see what you're doing in the games. Your minutes have improved, your stats have improved, but where do you think you're actually winning your minutes? Is it in practice, or is it what you're doing out there?
I think it's a combination of both. Being super consistent is a big thing for me, and I try to be an everyday guy. Not get too high, not get too low, and really control the things that I can control, which is my attitude, my effort. So to show up every day and make sure both of those things are as much as I can give.
What are the coaches looking for you from you specifically? Do they want you to play a certain way, like meaner, be a tougher guy? Like Tom talked about how he's a better player when he plays angry. Are you like that?
Yeah, I would say that. Being a little bit meaner, to your point, would be maybe something that would help me. But I just try to keep calm, keep focused, make the simple plays. That's something that the coaching staff really talks to me a lot about. So just making the simple plays and doing what I need to do to help the team.
Yeah, the audition tape is over now, so we're 11 games into the season. The final 20 are all inside the conference. How does that change things for you guys going forward? I know that I'm sure preparation-wise stays the same, but the focus maybe shifts a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, we got to come with a elevated sense of focus. Every night's going to be a battle. So for 20 games, we got to really focus in on doing what we need to do in preparation and in recovery on the back end of games to make sure that we're ready for the next one.
So you guys outscored your opponent in the paint 28-14, I believe. What do you guys say about the physicality that you guys played with today?
I thought we played with good physicality. I mean, they were a physical team as well. But I mean, we have a lot of guys that can get downhill and get in the paint at will. So I would say that we did a good job of staying consistent, getting downhill, getting in the paint, and then that opens up our offense for our kick-out threes and all that stuff. So yeah, I'd say winning the battle in the paint is important for us.
So when I was walking up the tunnel, I saw you out there, kind of hanging out with the fans, like, signing some stuff, just interacting with the fans. So what does it mean to have so much support from Lobo Nation?
Yeah, it means a lot to us, and that's something that we really appreciate is the support from our fan base. And signing autographs and stuff like that after games, that's something that I'll always try and make time for, because I remember going to college games as a kid, like that was me. So I think that's a really good way that I can sort of reciprocate that and make sure that I give those kids that experience.
Did you hear a different reaction after like the VCU game in particular? Did you hear you getting a few more cheers today?
Yeah, I would say a little bit. I would say that that's kind of I don't seek that out necessarily, but I just try to do my job and work as hard as I can to help our team.
All right, and then I got to ask, J. Cole ties for the team lead with rebounds with you and two others. What's J. Cole going to be like in film session, knowing that he was the leading rebounder for a game?
Yeah, I think that's something that he'll be proud of. He didn't have necessarily his best shooting day, but he'll bounce back from that. We're sure of that. He had a really good game the other night at VCU, so that's another way that he can impact winning, not by just shooting the ball. So we're all really proud of him for that, and we'll look forward to seeing more of that out of Jake.
One last one for JT.
So Uriah scored 0 points in the first half, and then came out in the second half with a couple of jams out there. How would you rate his dunks today?
I think they were really good. The one with the fast break, it was nice to see that, and then the out of bounds play too. That was good draw by our coaching staff, and then good execution by all our guys that were on the floor for that one. So that was fun. It was a good way to get the crowd going, and really gave us some momentum.